What's going on, people? Welcome back to another JSTV. Back again. I've got Paul from London Mags. Good afternoon, Paul. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad really, but yeah, still really frustrated after yesterday for definite.
Yeah, I mean, it's a day to forget as well. Newcastle got beat off Brighton by 3 goals to 1 at the Amex yesterday, and it should have been a lot more goals. Ivan Ferguson absolutely scared us to death in the early one. I mean, Gilmore had a great game as well. I thought the Brighton back four looked comfortable all the game. Guys, if you like the video, like what you watch, make sure you like that and subscribe. And if you like to super chat is open as well. Just get a channel what it's worth. And if you'd like to become a member, it's just 99p. And hi to Les, as usual. Likes and shares socials as well. Thank you very much indeed. Super chats are open yet. And if you do become a member, you're entering the draw on Tuesday, September the 19th, the date of our AC Milan fixture as well. Give yourself a chance with a £50 e-voucher for Newcastle online or in stores as well. Right, if I do get to cover the Milan game, Leslie, I shall let you know ASAP on that one as well. And got to get those comments coming in as well. Hi to both of us, chill up as well. Right, it finishes Newcastle 1, Brighton 3. And you know what it is, right? I mean, I went to the match yesterday. The fans are fantastic. And to me, the fans came more on the pit on the stands rather than the players on the pitch. We were absolutely awful yesterday. I mean, turn man. Paul, tell me more, man.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with Newcastle in the Amex. We've got such a weird and terrible record there. Like I think the last time we actually won there was in the Championship. And that was a 2-0. We just seem to have this weird hoodoo over us at that stadium, and we never seem to perform now. I don't know what it is. I really don't. We had with the starting 11, we had one change in force because Botman wasn't risked. Eddie said in the pre-match that he kind of came to Eddie and said that he felt a little bit of pain, so they felt it wasn't worth risking him. I'm assuming that on top of that, he probably misses international duty. I'm going to assume that Newcastle could probably get away with saying that he's still a bit injured, so saves him a trip and saves him, going away with his national team. So we'll see what happens with that. And then we had Dan Burn go into the back, and then we had Matt Targett, in the Dan Burn position. But otherwise, it was unchanged. But yeah, we kind of started okay in the game. I thought we started quite good. Isaac had a decent half chance. I wouldn't really say it was like 100% chance. He was in on goal, but it was a hard angle. Would have been an unbelievable finish if he finishes there. And then Brighton just kind of overtook after about 10 minutes? Would you say, John? 10, maybe 6. In that rough area. And then Brighton just kind of they just did what they do to a lot of teams. They just ran. They changed. Changed positions a lot. I mean, the amount of gaps we had was really surprising. And again, I don't know what it is. Why are we so slow at times? Like last season, we were so quick, and we did it a little bit against Liverpool. We just seemed slow in build up and passes that go astray. And it was very strange. It was a strange performance.
Absolutely. Go for the comments as well. Keep them coming in, please, guys. By the way, just to Jolly9 as well, thank you so much for your kind donation yesterday. I've just seen it last night, and it's £4.99. I really appreciate that. If you're listening to my guy, thank you so much for your kind donation as well. And I left a message in as well. David is saying hi to you, David. Taking the alley off is killing the team. That's 3 times. We're going to comment out on a bit, by the way. Hope these who wanted Sean and Joe Willock out the side last season are happy now. In my opinion, they are the heartbeat of the team. That's in Sparky. Sparky's going in there as well. Anson's betting to Nali. As hi to K Ross, by the way. And let's just chat to David. Hi, John. Me and John just got back home for the Brighton game last night. I tell you what, I was there as well, Kate, and it wasn't a good watch yesterday. It was poor. Very disappointed that Newcastle did not win. You know what it is, Kate? We did not deserve to win at all. We're all disappointed. And you know what? We need to fix. He needs to fix up, and I'll show you will. Joe Little wasn't fit. We come on to him in a bit. I'd like to see
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. And got one from JJ. This loss was not like the previous two in that it wasn't, as the sure title suggests, simply down to missed chances. We were lethargic, listless, unprepared against a passing and pressing Brighton. You know what is, JJ? That is my take. My take is missing chances yet again. Isak had a chance and he screwed it wide. Then he had another chance 1-on-1 and he was too slow to make his mind up. Another cross came from the right-hand side. I think it was some Isak pullback. No take us, yeah? But that's as good as we got because Brighton could have gone 2, 3, 4 up, by the way. Gilmore, bloody string in this. Pascal Gross, right? You don't see him, but he does bits as well. But Toma has run out Trippy at will, right? I thought Target was shocking as well. I can't lie. I don't have to go at people. I'm sorry, but you're not allowed to have go at people. But I'm just judging on the game what I've witnessed in the 90 minutes. Target, I mean, Solly Marsh had him on toast time and time again, right? Our back four, there's no leadership at all whatsoever. Badly missing Botman, by the way, at the centre of the defence, you know. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie, we got exactly what we deserve, but we moved. Sad to hear that we're out for an additional 6 weeks. That is a massive blow there. Massive blow. And anyhow, people want him out the door now, John Hook, not Kate. I do not want Eddie Howe to be sacked. Yeah. Let me just be clear. Eddie Howe, I do not want him sacked because he will fix this team up. Yeah. But in my opinion, he needs to be ruthless and he needs to say, right, you know what? We're going to change that team. I'm going to change it up as well. Dreadful errors cost us dear. Okay, you're absolutely right. Hi to Cenk from Cyprus or Turkey, one of the two. Eddie, I mean, we will create number 6 for the squad or you change the whole formation of the team. Otherwise, they're costing Newcastle United carrier Lewis Hall with Botman. You know what it is, Paul? I want to see Lewis Hall back in when he's fit. Botman's going to be back. I'm 100% sure. Let's be honest, right? I'll look at a team. I mean, let's just say as well. As far as I saw, not one single player was to blame. It was a poor team performance. Yeah, I mean, I get that, Les. Right? I mean, at times, one or two players, I wouldn't single out a player. I wouldn't do that. But at the end of the day, right? I mean, I can only watch the players who I know is not performing. He's not. Yesterday, I just didn't think it was a good performance talk whatsoever. It was poor collectively. Just saying so. Don't be so daft, Kate. It's fine. It's all about opinions. Paul, like I said, we're going to talk about, the back four, right? I mean, Matt Target's coming in, right? I mean, me personally, I stick Dan Burn left back, bringing themselves. As he's just saying it now, right? Target doesn't look match fit at all. Sonny Marsh had him on toast, right? It was 0 tackles. I think it's 1 tackle, 0 take-ons. And when you're a left back, you got to move forward and be creative. This guy wasn't yesterday.
Yeah, again, like I don't know what's happened to him because he was one of our better performers the other season. You know, that's what turned his loan into a permanent. Whether that was part of the drive because maybe you make that, maybe he's playing for that permanent move. You don't know, but it's positioning and he was bad. Pre-season he got caught out a few times, and maybe you think to yourself, well, pre-season, maybe they're not as switched on as they would be in the Premier League game. So, not as excusable, but you're like, well, hopefully Eddie gets into him and says, like, position needs to be better. Yeah. But again, like these players, like they know if there's an injury, that's a chance. That's a chance to take. And I put a tweet out yesterday saying, like, I hope that Target has one of those games where he can kind of say to Howe, like, I'm a starter, I want to be on this pitch. But again, it's slow. It's just he's out of position so often, and other players are having to like get back and help him out. And yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, and the big annoyance from from a lot of people I saw, and it's quite right what they're saying is that we've got all of our new signings pretty much were on the bench. All this big money that we spent. And none of it's on the starting 11 really, and we've got. But I know Eddie said that Lewis Hall isn't quite match ready, which what can you do about that really? you can't force them on the pitch and then get them an injury and then you're knackered. Livramento is Trippier's understudy, really. So why are you going to drop Trippier? It's a tough one. And Barnes is he kind of does a swap when Gordon's kind of tired or whatever. But yeah, I don't know what it is. It just seems to something doesn't seem to be working right now. It feels so much like that little period we had in the season where we just couldn't seem to, score many goals or if any. And we felt a bit lethargic in that little period. The only difference was that we weren't losing. We were kind of, getting a draw or, getting a 0-0. Whereas at the moment, we just seem to be, last 2 games have been some really crushing defeats. I mean, Man City, you can get beat 1-0 by Man City, and that's fine. I mean, Fulham went there yesterday and got absolutely destroyed 5-1. So you can get absolutely destroyed by Man City. So not the worst result at the Etihad, but then the Liverpool game. Again, I wondered whether the players still had that in the back of their mind, whether that was still playing on them, that they've obviously, been that result off. Maybe that's still in the back of their heads, possibly. I mean, I guess that's a bit of an easy way out, but I don't know what it was. It was, again, but to be fair, I feel harsh because any Brighton fans watching, I have to say, you played what Newcastle would normally do to play to teams. You ran us off the pitch. It could have been way more than 3, and we kind of got a goal when their defense was a bit tired and whatever. But it wasn't the best. Wasn't the best performance. It's probably one of the worst, if not the worst, under Eddie Howe.
I agree. No questions about that. I mean, love Eddie, but no one ain't above criticism, unfortunately. That's the manager and the players as well. But I'm not going to go on in hard on that because what Eddie has done, he's done some good things as well, which I'm not going to try and go on him. So I honestly think that Bruno links with Barca are true. And that's why he's playing crap with his head is somewhere else. I mean, the thing is, that's going to be another day chat that as well. But if that is the case and his head's not right, then he's got to be honest and just take him out of the team. But I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not. I can't believe that anything is well. Pardon me. On Eddie, he needs to learn how to function with plan B, C, D. He is unlikely to take us forward. Don't want him to go. He only knows one way to play. And that is the thing. I mean, the thing is, right, I spoke to a Brighton fan yesterday and he said exactly the same thing about Eddie. He only knows one way, and that's to attack. He has got a plan B, and that's from a Brighton fan. Not us, by the way.
That's a really good point there from Time and Tide, isn't it? Focus on the football. Again, I wonder whether...
True.
Again, obviously it's difficult not having Champions League in the back of your head. It must be difficult. I'm sure it's a bit like the Carling Cup, wasn't it, where we kind of got a bit distracted with that upcoming. But at the same time, we just need to be ourselves, really. Just need to. Luckily, I mean, again, it's probably come at a good time. We've got this 2-week, international break. It probably quite a decent time for us. Where hopefully, there's only a few players going on international duty. I don't know whether Botman will or won't. It depends on what the club think, I guess, on that. But at least you've got most of the squad there to kind of sit with them and just be like, right, what's going on? What is this? We did. We didn't do the best at Liverpool. We didn't do anywhere near enough at Brighton. But the only way to rectify it is that we've got Brentford at St James's Park when we come back. Let's get back. Let's get back a win. Go to Milan away, which is a tough game. Tough game. But again, if you get to, and I'm saying this with bad results underneath our wings, but if we get 2 decent results after that, then the confidence is coming back a bit, which is what we want. We want that because otherwise it's going to be a bit of like a West Ham season at the moment.
Exactly. I mean, look, at the end of the day, right? I mean, Brighton fans praised us well the way we've been playing this season, and it looks to me that we played it into Brighton's hands yesterday with that formation. I mean, West Ham a different kind of side, but Newcastle, suits Brighton to the ground. That's why we got punished. K. Ross, we got 2 minutes. Hall, Livramento, Anderson. Man needs to be more involved after the break of 2 games per week. I can't agree. Those names mentioned there, I wouldn't put them in against AC Milan yet. Excuse me. I mean, I wouldn't mind playing them and rest the big boys as well for the Milan game. Bad call from Eddie, but so what next? No fear, our new signings bench will be on the pitch soon enough. Hi to David again. A lot of teams have strengthened their first team, but we haven't, unfortunately. It's going to cost us big. We don't have the luxury of gradually bringing in young players through right now, and it may cost Ed. And that's from David. That's a fair point. But the rule is, right? I mean, look, people are saying we've got a big squad depth, yeah? And when I look at it, it's better. And I'm sorry, Leslie, if you chat, it's all our opinions. It's better, but I still think it's not big enough.
Yeah, I mean, we are, we've said it a few times in the past where at least when we look at the bench, it's like that person could affect the game, that person could affect the game. It's when you're getting, again, like this shows like you have an injury to a key player like Botman, so Botman has to miss the game.
That's a miss.
And then a replacement in Byrne is not the worst replacement, but then we're lacking in the department where Byrne would be. Hall isn't quite up to match fitness yet, so I wouldn't expect him to be thrown into a game like that because again you could injure him or knock his confidence. So I'm not blaming any on that, but again, like Matt Targett coming in, he's got to have a look at himself in the mirror because do you know what I mean? He was doing all right for us. He was one of the players that we really wanted to be permanent because he was doing so well. And again, I don't know whether last season hurt him because he wasn't playing a lot and maybe that's knocked him. But at the same time, like I just said, you've got that chance. You've got a chance to prove that you should be starting. And he's not, he hasn't made a claim. It's just, again, Eddie must be sitting there thinking, well, yeah, maybe Hall has to come in a bit quicker because maybe I can't trust Matt Targett all the time because he's not, he's one of the weakest players out there sometimes for us. You know
what it is, Paul? He's an easy target.
Yes.
Matt Targett, he's an easy target. And he was. Go on,
yeah. So it's, again, it's really, it's bad luck with the bottom thing. It's bad luck. I think someone said earlier that Joe didn't look fit. I question him starting because I agree he didn't look fit and he came off quite quickly after the second half, which says to me that he probably wasn't really ready for that game and possibly could have missed it just again to save him. So it's a weird one, isn't it? I know that again it feels frustrating because these players are great. They really are. They're brilliant. And I hate being negative because I love my team and love the club and this team has done stuff that is unbelievable last season. So I don't want to be too hard on them, but at the same time we lost 5 games all last season. We've already lost 3 already. And our defense just doesn't look like it was last season. Like we looked really tough to beat. People got, I think last season it was maybe only 1 game or 2 games where we had more than 2 goals scored against us in the same game. Like it was tough. It's a tough fixture against Newcastle. At the moment, we look a bit. People are probably thinking we can be got out at the moment.
Sad but true. But true. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie, but that's down to Eddie. He's got to get a defence back to how it was from last season as well. And we're going to get found out very, very soon. And according to people that I've spoken to, we would have been found out on the field. But that's their opinion. And go for some more comments as well. Some of the transfers added squad depth, but compared to our competitors, we have gone backwards in terms of the first team. That's from JJ, nature of the Prem. Hi to Alan. I hope you're good, mate. Thanks for the comments in the comment section, Alan. David, strength of our first team, as you'll see, and then moves ahead. Gordon flats to deceive and isn't worth the 45 million quid, nor should it be a starter, let alone having number 10 on the back on at his back. That's in JJ. Oh, I'm going on Alan as well. One teacher Palace against Wolves. Andy Gordon flats to deceive isn't worth 40 million. He said that, I think, didn't you? Sorry. He's on one, that's for the club, I never forget. Needs to be patient. And defense will be okay once Botman and Lewis comes in. I think the bigger problems in mid, especially Arbison and Borough is not fit. Ellis should put them off for a while. 3 most runners players in the mid. Agree. And John, your thoughts on Dan Burn, Miguel Almiron against Brighton? Now we're going to talk about them, by the way. Dan Burn, in my opinion, played as you're still at Brighton. That's number one. Number two, Miggy, right? I mean, you know how much I love Miggy, right? In my opinion. And you know what? Last season, he was lucky he had to have a good season. That might have saved his career. But in my opinion, it was enormous yesterday. He really, really was. Other than that, he did absolutely nothing yesterday. And yeah, what do you think? Anne's comments there.
Yeah, I mean, Dan Burn was, again, like it's slow. It just doesn't, the build up is, we do this thing where we kind of have the back four in position. We just kind of pass it slow to him, and then we pass it slow to him, and, oh, do you want it? Oh, no, I don't want it. Do you want it? And then we're causing this panic with the first goal. This is what led to the panic on, Pope just really panicked and led, we were just so much pressure over that. And then with Almiron, yeah, I mean, again, like Eddie's not normally someone who takes him off early. And to be fair, that was probably one of the earliest times I remember Almiron coming off for us. So I think that says quite a lot that Eddie was probably thinking the same thing, that he wasn't effective in the game. He wasn't doing anything. I don't think I recall him having a shot or, really doing much getting past people really. It just wasn't his game. And then sadly, I think when the change came, we had a little bit of a positive 5 minutes. It looked better with Isak on the wing and Callum Wilson up front. That really helped us for that little stint where we seemed to get into the game a bit more. And then shamefully, as what happened is that we kind of got a foothold again, and we were looking kind of dangerous. And then the problem is the backs where the gaps were, and then they scored a second goal, and I think that just destroyed, the confidence just kind of went when we kind of had the 2-0 and then the 3-0. The third goal was, I mean, I know that there's position things, but it is very unlucky. I mean, it really is unlucky, that third goal. I'm really shocked that they're giving it to the striker there, because his shot wasn't going on target, I don't think. So, but, it is what it is. I think they'd rather not have the own goal on their record, so let them have a hat trick. But the third goal is quite unfortunate. But again, there's errors in there, so it's difficult. And then we score a goal when they're a bit tired, and Wilson again is showing that he's a great finisher though. That's a great finish. But a bit earlier, you never know, I guess, because Brighton are vulnerable. That's the thing. We didn't test their defence enough. Look at West Ham. West Ham had hardly any possession, but they took their chances and won at the Amex. So we need to work on that finishing again. We just seem to be in a slump when it comes to that ethos of the team. And I'm gutted about Willock. I'm gutted. I was
6 weeks out, isn't he? 6 weeks out.
So looking forward to him coming back, because I felt we missed him in particular. That's really painful, losing him for another 6 weeks. That's tough.
Yeah. He's on missing spark, isn't he? Missing spark. And that spark has truly gone in the midfield as well. Everyone learns your formation, they block here. Stop Bruno, you stop Newcastle. That's been proved. We come to him later. And Joe Linton, who wasn't fit. He didn't look fit at all yesterday. Why I played him, I have no idea. Maybe we never repeat what he was done last season. Careful, Sparky, because Niggy's biggest fan is in the chat as well. Very much looking forward to a few months. Did a discussion with the Blinker about how well did Brian Hall deliver mental. Yeah, that is the case. Hi to Foxy, bug it to you, mate. Can't play a back for a target and burn, but predictable loss issues our defence and midfield feet with no natural number 6. Yeah, people will blame the other sweet goods. Listen, end of the day, we definitely need a number 6. No doubt about it. For me, if anyone, right, give him marks out of 10 for a transfer window, I'll give him a 6. I'll give him a 6 because we needed a centre back. We needed a number 6. We needed a covering right-sided player. and we do with another striker in case Callum and Alex gets injured, sort of thing. So I'll give him a 6. Centre backs were nowhere for the second goal, and Pope was slow and nowhere near. Before that, right? I mean, Gilmore did so well to get rid of the football before he was pressed. And I'll tell you something now. I mean, you're going to go and Nick Pope. That first goal, Paul, was an absolute disgrace. I mean, either way, he set the tone. He definitely set the tone, right? And this is why, right? If we're going to win titles, right? I mean, I love Nick Pope a bits, yeah, but he's not a world-class keeper. He's a good keeper, but he's not a world-class keeper. So he's at fault for the first goal. He was at fault.
Yeah, and again, he was. It kind of came in the second half against Liverpool. He was flapping at things and missing things and being quite wild with some of his, decision making. And it kind of crept over into here, and he just panicked with the ball, and then the shots hit right at him, and he's parried it straight in front of the other, the Brighton player, and it's a great finish. You can't do anything about the finish, really. I mean, it's a fantastic goal. But it comes from our mistake. I mean, Tonali hits the air rather than the ball. So perhaps if he hits the ball, you never know what happens next. But, he has an air shot, and then our defence is just all over the place. No one mark it. It reminded me of goals we used to concede when we were in the Championship. Not even joking. Like, we used to be like really panicky back in the Championship like that, where we might get lucky and not get a goal, but we had that. I remember people saying that Cardalo had that really amazing save. I can't remember who it was against. And he did. It was unbelievable. But again, the panic that we were having, we were sliding in and it was all really hectic. And then Cardalo did pull off an amazing save, like, to keep him out. But yeah, again, that was all caused by, so many errors. And yeah, the first goal was just, really, really poor. I mean, again, like we're saying, like, last season we weren't conceding goals like that. We just weren't. Again, it's saying that because we had the continuous back four, so it's difficult because we were missing Botman as well, which is it's hard to miss. He's a great player, but again, we've got players that should be doing a job on top. Burns not a terrible centre back; it's his natural position. So, he should be doing better. And Matt Target, like, again, that's his natural position. It's just not good enough at the moment. Sorry, lads. Like, again, like, I love the team, but you have to be honest sometimes, and it just hasn't been good enough at the moment.
No, not at all. Not at all. We go some more constantly going to the partners as well. John, question for you. Do you think Trippier can play on the right side of the midfield? No, he cannot. No, he can't. Right back, left back. It's a portray. If there's more movement in front of Bruno, we see last season's Bruno simples. And I think Bruno, in my opinion, I love him, but I want the Bruno that I saw last season. And not everyone's to blame. Poor performance, no service to the front three. Transfer in the guess of 7 improvement squad depth, but a 3 for improvement in the first team. Palace has just scored again 2-1 Palace. I want to see Anderson, that's a CAM, 2-touch football with Isak in the middle. People were having a go at me for wanting Anderson over Jason versus Villa. That's from Ryan. Big up Ryan, by the way, mate. Hope you're okay, mate. And everyone's got an opinion. That is cool. Bruno and Tonali as a double pivot. Very interesting. Very interesting. Next summer's window, I think we've got to start looking world-class goalkeeper, also young. I mean, for me, that'll probably come up in the future months as well. If you're going to get a world-class keeper, for me, Diogo Costa for Porto. 100%. Yeah. Hope will be a number 2 for you in any serious top sides. Love Joe Linton, but it's very interesting. Every time he has a below par game, as Joe Linton isn't fit excuse, might use that one for other games from now on. And that's from Foxy. I agree with my poll with other keepers on better than him. This is a backlash, Bruno. I will know backlash, Bruno. Brighton will keep you honest. If you're not 100% up for it, and anyway lazy, they're exposed to you. That's David. You're absolutely correct. Great channel. Lads, love it. Work. Thank you so much indeed for Les as well. I'm just going to go through the adverts as well, if you don't mind. And JSTV is pleased to welcome their first partner, Toffs, the #1 destination for classic football shirts that recreate famous vintage Newcastle United shirts designs, in addition to the massive range of retro replica shirts. Sports Shirts Toffs brings you Newcastle-inspired bucket hats, feature Bruno, Drooler, and Tonali, and more. Their products are manufactured at their Team Valley base, made by the fans for the fans. Check them out at www.toffs.com. Our exclusive John Sinclair discount code gets you 15% off all orders. Simply quote JSTV15. So do check it out on their website. And if I just get another one up as well, which is Magpie Store. We're also part of the Magpie Store. These guys are passionate about supporting Newcastle and provide fans with quality NUFC-inspired clothing. Their range includes hoodies and t-shirts featuring Gordon, Tonali, Isak, and more. Keep your eyes open as they continue adding to the product line. The Magpie Store is a new store for a new dawn at Newcastle United and is an online service. They could be found at www.themagpiestore.co.uk. Quote our exclusive code JSTV10 for 10% off each order. Please contact JSTV via email if you always like to join our partnership team as well. Thank you very much indeed.
Wolves are poor, man. I tell you, Wolves are really poor.
Oh, that's bad, are
they? Just conceded a terrible third goal. Wow.
Ooh.
Wow, really poor. Although we can talk, I guess, at the moment, but yeah, that was really bad. Good for Palace, but yeah.
I mean, I think Palace going to do well this season. The Hodgson, I really do.
Yeah, I think Wolves might go down.
They could be in trouble. They could be in big trouble. Our midfielders just want to look up and ping the ball forward. We need someone just to carry the ball 10, 20 yards, and Willock and Anson are the answer. Gonna have to agree there. It's things have reached a point with Pope. We have to roll the dice. I don't know who's looking the part in training, but you can't get away with these kind of theatre errors. And you know what? It's been common for a long time. And I do like Nick Pope. I really do. However, I mean, he needs to cut out those mistakes. You're going to distribute the ball, then put it out for the back. You've got to do it so well. You have to. The last 3 games in midfield hasn't been missing the workers, Longstaff, and Willock can't play. Feed number 8 in the back line, far too slow. I don't know what I've done on my screen there, Paul. I'm sorry. 2 seconds there. So, done there. 2 seconds.
Are you all right?
I may have to come out and try this one as well. Bruno is best as CAM, not a DM. Would you play Big Joe as a DM? I like Jolik on the left-hand side. I thought about it. And it's a tough one. John, do you think expectations getting too much for the players? Most of them are used to a relegation fight, not to get in top 4 year on year. That's a good question there. What do you think, mate?
It's an interesting shout. Like I was saying, I wonder, we were overachieving last season. There's no doubt about that. We were really surprising teams with how we were playing. And again, like as a few of the comments are pointing out, that teams would have looked into that over the summer. These teams do look at what teams have done against them and try and think of ways to stop them, because obviously otherwise Newcastle just win every game and then we win a league if no one researched us. So yeah, and it could be a mentality thing where all of that hard work to get into the Champions League, which was phenomenal, it is tough. And then maybe, like I said, maybe with the poorish last 20-ish minutes against Liverpool was playing on your mind. Then you lose the game in the last couple of minutes, which is tough to take mentally. And then you go into a Brighton game, which is tough away. It's a tough game. And then maybe there's that little bit of I don't know with our players whether they are thinking like this, but I know that bigger teams have had this where they've gone to places like Brighton, like let's say Arsenal in the past and Man United, where they've kind of gone there expecting to win just because in their head they're better than them. And I don't know whether some of that's crept in there. Like maybe we think we're kind of above teams like that, and we're just going to go there and kind of steamroll them because it'd be nice, nice easy afternoon. We're not really mentally prepared. I mean, but I'll be surprised. I'm not saying that's definitely what's happening. It's just we've seen it before with other teams. You know, Arsenal in particular were a team well known for that where they kind of turn up for games and just kind of expect to win, and then they would not put much effort in. Their fans would obviously go absolutely bizarre, absolutely nuts, and get very angry because they'd end up losing, games they should really win. Man United are the same, where they probably went to that Tottenham game the other day thinking they were going to stroll it, and then they end up losing it, and they got a tough game in a couple of, like an hour or so against Arsenal. So I don't know. It's a tough one to answer. It's hard, I would have thought that the dressing room would have been really positive, but I guess if you're not in there, it's hard to know what's really going on.
I'd have to agree there. It's a tough one. It can go either way. Totally agree. We need a centre back, right side midfield, DM. We've got none. That is the thing. That's what we needed, Steve. That is what we needed. We did a Szoboszlai or Maddison. I tell you what, looking back now, people are probably saying we should go Maddison now. And we should have put 40 million for Gordon towards Diaby. Wrong signing by far. That's in JJ. Maddison instead of Tonali. Should bring back Marino. It'd be perfect 6. You know what? That's a good shout, Ryan. I mean, let's be real, right? If he came back to Newcastle now, I think it'd be perfect. You know exactly what he's doing. And number 6 is the main priority. Try to play one ball after another through our midfield into the feet of their forwards every time. The main issues we are weird to Ortman. The second goal, Brighton passed right through us. If you played a back 4 with no Botman, you need at least a Toyota in front. We don't even have that. Exactly. We don't even have that at all. Simple as that. Which is under 3 players, right side back, and number 6, Cenk. Exactly what it said that earlier on. JJ said as well, and Steve Minimas as well. And Gordon, we were shocking yesterday. I think we'll finish 6th this season. Do you know what? Give it that position, mate. I'll take 6 all day. Do you think certain players on our team will be still here in the next transfer window? I doubt it very, 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 very much. With that performance, no way. We finished 4th without having any big injury to our centre-back, Sean Botman. Missed last season. We've lost also Aston Foxley. Yeah, that's true. And the problem is our wages structure. That's why we didn't get Maddison Diaby. That's in Steve. Not. I'm better paying with people with durable encouragement on weekdays. Cool stuff. Yeah, so it is what it is. I mean, I don't know what Eddie said after the game. He said they started well, but I want Eddie to succeed, man. I want him to succeed. People asking him to be sacked. I don't want him gone, though, Paul. What's wrong with these people on social media, man? What is it?
I mean, that is one of the worst takes I've seen the whole of this weekend. I mean, the amount, I get it. Whenever we lose X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, always goes into meltdown. It does. It's the worst thing ever. And it wasn't a good performance, but get a grip of yourselves. Eddie's not going anywhere. The owners love him. They love Eddie, and they want him to be. They've said it a million times. They want him to be. I'm not saying he's going to be as successful, but they want him to be Newcastle's version of Sir Alex Ferguson, where he stays for a long time. You're going to have off days, and sadly we've had 3 bad off days. But again, like people forget, we played all right against Liverpool for 60 minutes. It weren't like we were terrible. Whole of the game, we didn't get run off the park or anything. The Brighton, this is a performance that worries me more than the Liverpool game. But again, I don't know. Again, mentality we've just said about it. Like again, I don't know whether it's something. The Amex Stadium with our players. It seems to be something we just don't seem to get over at the moment. It's the same with Liverpool. We have this weird thing about like not being able to get over the line against Liverpool teams. So I don't know. We need to look at those sort of things and get over them. But Eddie Howe should not be sacked. I mean, it's a crazy, crazy thing. He got us to 4th, where we would have been happy with 8th and 7th. Don't lie to yourselves who are real fans. If we finished 7th last season, after finishing, well enough in the season before, or after nearly getting relegated, we would have been chuffed. We would have been absolutely chuffed. We're in dreamland that we finished 4th under the same manager. So it's bizarre that people are calling for his head. This is the problem with modern football and gaining fans, I guess, is that some fans who aren't real Newcastle supporters, probably supporting Man City and Liverpool and Chelsea when they were doing well, they just expect they expect it to be like instant gratification and instant cups and instant, winning every game. That's not how it works. And especially if you know anything about supporting Newcastle, we don't do anything easy. We don't do nothing easy. If we end up winning something, it will be the hardest game we've ever had. It will just be 10 men, a really awful 1-0 win or something where we just we get something off a line and we get a VAR decision. We just know that's how Newcastle are. It's just, it's the hope that kills you. It's always been the thing that comes along with Newcastle. But look, the players will be hurting. They will be. The only hope I have is that we have the 2 weeks, take it, recoup, put it right. And then the thing is, we got some, apart from, we got Champions League games, but the Premier League games we have now for the next, 9 games roughly, they're all games that are very winnable. They just are. They're a nicer run for us. So it's one of those where if 10 games later we've won all 10 and we're looking more healthy, who will care about the first 4 games of the season? No one will care. No one will care at all. It's just we had the hardest start of the season. No one else had a hardest start than us. Nobody.
Exactly.
So it's one of those as well where I'm trying to find positives because we'd rather stay positive. I don't want to be over negative because we're not playing we're not playing relegation football. We're not, we don't have mercenaries in the team that don't care about Newcastle. These players do care. It's a bad day. It's a bad day at the office, and for whatever reason, we just seem to have many of them at the Amex. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't order for Tom and the Amex yesterday. The fans in the stands are fantastic. Even with Vino down, you got to give us credit for that as well, man. But listen, end of the day, we still got beat, but you can't have the ball as well. But there you go. Mad is on 180k. We don't pay that. Once our sponsorship deals kicks in, we will see. Eddie Sat, who else is there? Give the lad a chance. Thank you, Alan. Thank you very much indeed. I've never seen anyone on Twitter saying Eddie out. To be fair, we all know that's ridiculous, but we should be able to criticize what we see. Constructive criticism, yes, that's cool, Steve. That's fine. Yeah. No one is above criticism. We get that. Yeah, you can talk about the game within that game. But when you call people say I've got certain players, blah, 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 personal insults and that, I can't deal with that at all whatsoever. We can't have that. But Steve, you're quite right. I mean, you have to be honest in your assessment. We are honest as well. Still got a lot of faith in Eddie. Big name managers doesn't always get results. Look at Poch. Got beat off Forest yesterday, didn't they, I believe?
And Chelsea were probably worse than us in that game. They weren't great, but we're not a Chelsea channel. But yeah.
Exactly. Eddie should have changed things in the first half instead of an hour. And Manson Diamon's not the issue. Despite slightly few losses, we score more than most. It's defensively conceded more than half the league. Exactly that. Let's go into the second goal. Ferguson. I mean, the second goal was a disgrace, utter disgrace. I mean, midfield again, right? Gilmore absolutely evaded the press, gave the ball to Ferguson, and then I was nearly level with it yesterday. 25 yards out, 30 yards out of that, and he killed in an absolute beauty. But we did not close him down at all. At the time, we were half scared. It was like Tyson Fury coming at you, and then he unleashed something, and it goes in the back of the net. And I tell you, when that goal scored, we were done.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we kind of, when we made the changes, we kind of came into the game a little bit. I'm not saying we were overrunning Brighton or anything, but Isak looks more comfortable on that wing. And him and Wilson, it does work. It does look like that works. It's a partnership that we've used a few times. And I wonder if Eddie will think about it a bit more going forward, whether we do that a bit more often, because Isak caused more trouble for them on the wing, and it was interesting because he was causing problems. We had a few corners, things like that came from that change, which was positive. But then, like you say, the hits on a break, and there was so much of a gap that I think I could have run through it. Do you know what I mean? It was unbelievable. It was so poor. It's again, Brighton probably won't score an easier goal than that all season. It was just, it was really poor, the space. And then, and that's the thing, that's what kills the game for us, because if we don't concede the second, if we keep up that pressure, who knows? You just don't know. You keep the pressure up, maybe get a 1-1, see how we get on. If we leave the Amex with a point, then it's not the worst result, especially how we played. We'd probably be pretty happy with that. I know people would have been mad because it wouldn't be a win, but whatever. But yeah, the second goal killed it. And then the third goal, which I'm sure we'll come on to in a sec, again, it's just that's when the game was done.
Yeah. We scored a goal in the end from Callum Wilson. We scored a goal. Did you see me clip yesterday on Dimmy Vlog said, we scored a goal, man? Big up, Callum.
It was a fantastic finish from Callum. And this is where, this is what I'm saying. I wonder whether we'll start doing the Isak and Wilson up front again, because that seems to be where we look the most dangerous. We seem to be causing trouble when we're doing that. It did last season. It looked good last season. Not all the time, I know that, but yeah, it looked like we were a bit more dangerous when Isaac was moved to that side. He's causing lots of trouble. So I'm really, really interested to see what the team is against Brentford. Really intrigued whether, surely there'll be changes. Surely there will be.
It will be.
Whether Hall comes in or not, maybe he has 2 weeks on the training ground, getting a bit more match fit or whatever. Botman hopefully will be back if he's rested from international duty, which I would assume that's probably why we kept him back. I'm going to assume that's probably part of it, that we're probably going to ask to have him recalled and not make him go to save him. Because then obviously if he goes and causes something that's, devastating, then we are absolutely knackered. Oh my God. If he's out for a couple of weeks, then dear me, we are really in trouble.
We'd be knackered, mate. We'd be absolutely knackered. And let's be real. Oh, and by the way, that Minte scored the first goal for final, by the way, in the win yesterday. Could we call him back from final on loan and play him on the wing? He's getting an 8 out of 10, by the way. That'd be amazing, man. That'd be cool. That'd be amazing. Right, let's go straight to the player ratings, guys. So we go for a player 1 out of 10. And if you don't agree with our ratings, go and cry some more, guys. We'll be back again next week. Do you know what I mean? Well, 2 weeks' time against Brentford, I guarantee you. And I tell you what, the ratings are absolutely brutal as honest. Let's start with Nick Pope. He made 2 costly errors, especially the first goal. You can't do that in a game like this. And then he failed to save Gilmore's shot, and he could have done a lot better. But he's shaky throughout the game. I'm going to give this guy a 3 out of 10. I'm sorry, 3 out of 10. How many would you give him?
I felt harsh thinking of a 2, but I think we're in the same sort of ballpark, John. That he had a poor game, and he just seems to be flapping at things, and his distribution is causing us trouble as well. He kicks the ball out of the play so often. It's one of the things that, again, I love Nick Pope. Obviously he's done well for us, but moving forward into the future, we need a goalkeeper that can obviously be calmer in those situations and play the ball out a bit better, because that's going to help us with our attacks. Look at Liverpool, look at Man City. This is what they did. They looked at goalkeepers that are an extra man on that field pretty much. You might as well be playing with 12 players because they're so good with their feet, So going forward, we'll need that. But Nick Pope's done well for us in the past, but he had a bad game. And I think, no offence to him, he kind of showed why he got left out of England. Sorry, mate, but that's why Southgate didn't pick you, buddy.
Exactly. He's getting a fee. Eddie's still the name, still the man. Let's not throw him under the bus. Thank you, Colton. Thank you very much indeed. Definitely, you're right. Hall can get some games in development squad to get fit.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Could be. And also early -1 for last year in the first 4 games. So we're a point worse off as well. So there you go. No panic. Let's go on to the right back. Kieran Trippier, listen, when you're at the back 4, you have to have a leadership as well. I thought you had a shocking game as well. I'm not going to lie. You gave the ball away straight to João Pedro in his own box, by the way. And that was saving a certain goal. And then he went in for did well. He took the ball off with Thomas' foot as well late on. Other than that sort of thing, I'm not being fun about Mitoma. If I was a boxing match, Mitoma went on points for me. That is not a Kieran Trippier performance. I'm going to give him a 5.
Yeah, I mean, his that corner, terrible, nearly led to a Brighton goal.
Yeah,
the free kicks, Trippier, mate, I love you. I love you. You're a great captain. You need to be working on your free kicks, buddy, because what has happened to those? First man hit so often, it's unbelievable. Trippier was one of the best deliverers of the ball, and I don't know, honestly.
Yet to see it. Yet to see it. Oh, poor. Yet to see it this season. Do you know what I mean? When you take a corner, right, or a crossing, he's got to be good. He's better than that. Do you know what I mean? I love Kieran, but I've not seen it at all this season.
Yeah, for me, I can't give him more than a 4. I think, sorry, Trips. It was an off day for you, buddy. It really was.
Judging him on the games he has played. Simple as that in the 90 minutes. Let's go on to the other side. This guy, I'm not being funny. He should have gone to Fulham. He's come back because Botman's out injured. Eddie had to shuffle the pack as well. This is the player. 0 tackles, no error effects as well. He's switched off. He's a yard or 2 off the pace. He made 1 or 2 last-ditch tackles on March, but at the end of the game, the damage was completely done. And there's a reason why Eddie doesn't think he's good enough. He's poor on the ball, switched off position. Sorry, he's going to 2.
I was going to give him 1. I was going to give him a 1 out of 10.
We're saying that how it is. We're saying that how it is.
Terrible. I really did. I thought he was really bad. Really bad. Sorry, Matt. You're a nice bloke in real life, but wasn't your best. Well, wasn't a good game for you, chap. You got to be taking that chance. You won't be getting many. You won't. You got to take those chances. You got to.
The sooner Lewishall gets fit, the better. Real talk. Unless you can afford to pay the wages, we're not getting the elite players, unfortunately. We've got good players, but not as good in Liverpool. You know what it is, Steve? We don't particularly want world-class players yet. We make them now. Do you know what I mean? But I can see where you're coming from, but they're a common time. Now is not the time at the minute. And Trips gets a 4, where Newcastle score goals from set pieces. I've yet to see that. Let's go straight on to the centre backs. I'm going to start with Fabian Schär. You got a drag out decision by Ferguson, picked an early booking. And he was nervous, and he went in for a lunch on Lamptey as well, second half, and he should have got sent off for that, in my opinion. He's very lucky for that. For me, he's very, very poor without Botman. For me, I'll give him a 3. I thought he was poor. And he ain't the only one.
Yeah, again, it's just, he does these runs that are all right. Like he tries to attack at times. He did a few bits and pieces there, but again, it just doesn't go anywhere. And like you said, John, just caught out. And again, Botman brings him up, doesn't he? Botman kind of brings that level up when he's playing on Shah. It must be difficult for him because you've built obviously like that ethos with another player, and it's probably got to the point because they play together so often where they probably don't even need to talk that much because maybe Shah knows where Botman's going to go, and there's probably a bit of chemistry there. So it must be tough, like going from that into Burn. But I think I agree with you that a 3 is more than fair.
Yeah. Gotta be. I'm sorry he's getting a 3. And his partner in crime, Dan Burn, he's still playing for Brighton. He's struggling to cope with Ferguson. He wasn't the only one to struggle to cope. It was also Shah as well. Given too many fouls away, rightly booked in the end, got known as man for foul 2 goals, and he got sucked in by Gilmore as well. He had a shocker. They all did at the back. He's getting a 3 as well.
Yeah, 100% with you there, mate. Not again, so many players when they say this for just another bad day at the office, Burn. And again, whether the whole being back at Brighton's on his head, I just don't know. I don't know whether it's one of those as well where he hasn't come, hasn't mentally gathered with that either. Who knows? But I think 3 is more than fair.
Yeah, 100%. Let's go into the midfield 3. Sancho Denali, I'm going to give him a 6. He created an opening for Isak and cut the ball back. There was no one there in the middle. I mean, okay, he should have done better as air shot clearance as well. Built for the first goal is part of that fault as well. However, right, I mean, he showed glimpses of his own class on the ball, and he's only taken off after around 55, 56 minutes. For me, he's the one that's only tried.
Yeah, he was our best player on the pitch. If we were picking a man in a match, it would be Tonali. He was trying. He had the most take-ons, most tackles in the game from any player. When I saw the stats, so he had a great game. And again, we miss him when he comes off the pitch. We start missing him as well. So shows that he's already made an impact in the early days of being in the Newcastle team, which is unbelievable. Well done to Tonali for bedding in so quick. We do miss him when he comes off. So yeah, 6 or a 7. I think that's more than fair.
Cool. Let's go on to the first of Brazilians, Bruno Guimaraes. I'm going to give him a 4. Listen, he made a promising start, a lovely first-time pass to Isak in the moments of the game. But just like the rest of them, right, he ran through at times, off a little protection for the back four, struggled to pick up João Pedro. Paulo Dredge had a fantastic game as well. And I tell you what, right, I love Bruno, but I'm still waiting for the real Bruno to turn up. That's why he's getting a 4 for me today.
Yeah, I agree. I still wonder, like I know a few people have been asking this I wonder if he's still carrying that injury. I just don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether he's still carrying that injury because it just seems that he's just not quite there. I don't know maybe it could just be fitness or whatever. I mean, as we've joked, he had about 10 weddings, so I just don't know. I don't know is it just the Twitter stuff? I mean, it'd be surprising if that little thing's got to him that much.
Yeah.
In professional football, you are going to get negative and positive feedback no matter what.
Exactly that.
I don't know. I don't know what it is for Bruno. He put up a post yesterday, didn't he, apologising, saying that it will get better. So let's see. But yeah, yesterday at best a 4. Sorry, Bruno. We love you, but again, not your best game, buddy.
Exactly. Totally agree. I mean, there's a couple of channels as well, bigger names would have probably give the same as well. Let's go on to Joe Linton. He passed late fitness test and he didn't look anywhere near fit. He was unlucky not scoring past the post where I stood, but this guy never got going at all whatsoever. And he's carrying a knock. Didn't look fit. For me personally, he should not have played that game. He's getting a 4 for me.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Didn't look fit. Had that one again, was a little bit of a chance. Tough finish there. If it goes in, it's a phenomenal goal. But yeah, didn't really influence. He's not his usual steamroller self. Probably could have missed that game. And we could have played, Anderson or whatever. We got lots of players that could get in there if we needed them. So sorry, Joe. Again, we love you. You're a blooming unbelievable player when you want to be, when you're on a game. Normally a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 frequently, isn't he? But today, probably a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, and as Jan says, if he can't play like that, he won't make the Brazilian team as well. They're just not gelling, no communication. That's a fair Corton.
Yeah.
Big up to Roger Cook in the chat, by the way, in the building, by the way. Big up to you. The whole team were under par. Besides Tonali, it's true and shouldn't even be picked, to be fair. Yeah, 4 for you as well. Let's go on to Miggy. Foxy, please cover your ears up, mate. You do not want to hear this, my guy. Listen, he was very enormous throughout the game, right? And also deflected, cost sneaked in early. That's about it. I can't forget anything else Miggy has done. And for me, I'm going to give him a 4 as well because, I could have given him a 3. I'll give him a 4 because he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, it's The one thing I remember is he got subbed early. That's the one thing I remember from the performance essay. He got subbed earlier than usual because Eddie obviously thought like Miggy's had no influence on this game. I need to bin him off. So yeah, I can't give you more than a 3, buddy. Again, we love you. We know you can play better. We know you do, but yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, again, sorry, Miggy, it wasn't a good game, buddy.
I might drop it down to a 3 myself. That's all he's done. I mean, I'll give him a 3, not a 4 or 3. I'm going to drop it as well. Sorry, Foxy, if he's in the room. I love Foxy in the room as well. Foxy's a 10 anyway. People call for Eddie Howe's head on. Embarrassing. Needs to go back to high B. Exactly. Or
100% Mark.
Or F off Dan and Mackhams. That's what I'm saying. Simple as that. 2.5, 2.3, and poor F from the start as well. Les is getting a 10 anyway. I'm sure Zombie Channel, Alan as well. They're both getting a 10s. And all the chats is give a 10 for me as well. So let's go on to Anthony Gordon. I mean, look, he needs to he created open for draw after a goal down. He should have scored in the second half, and he should have scored on the back post. Would have got us back in the game. Really missed that chance. I'm sorry. That was absolutely poor, and that just sums up this day. I mean, he was booked in the first half for the challenge on Veltman. I thought Veltman's not the quickest of fullbacks. He should have terrorised him all game. He didn't, and that's why he's getting a 5 from me today.
Yeah, he huffed and puffed, didn't he, Gordon? He is still trying his best.
Did put the house down, didn't he?
Yeah, but yeah, he needs to. He's among a few players that need to calm down a bit. He goes into some of these challenges where it's one of those things where I wouldn't be shocked if one of those tackles he's doing is a red one time and then you're knackered. So he just needs to he just needs to rail that in a little bit, because he does go in sometimes studs first, and if you get that wrong, you're off. So he huffed and puffed. He didn't really do much. Yeah, he had a tough game. Didn't do anything really. So 4 for me.
Yeah, fair comment. Let's go on to Alex Isak. Listen, and made some good runs and posted fat opening stages. I felt he should have scored twice. One of them when he took too long to make a decision, then he got tackled by Heke for a corner, and then he had a wonderful chance when the ball cut back for Tonali. All he has to do is just hit it anywhere on target and back of the net. He didn't. It went wide. That chance cost him big time. That's why he went behind. And also, he's often too isolated, like he was at Man City. So I'm getting no sense in the midfield as well. For me, I'm going to give him a borderline 5, because look, he did try, but 5 for me.
Yeah, again, like a frustrating game for Isaac. I thought he looked a lot better when Callum Wilson came on and they were kind of linking up a bit more. He caused a lot more trouble. Like I said, that led to a few corners, and Brighton were having trouble with him on that wing, and I think that's probably where he would prefer to be, really. I think he's a bit down. He does cause people more trouble down that wing, and we were getting, like I said, a little bit more into the game, and then we go and lose it with the 2-0. So again, he's trying. He's getting in positions. He must be frustrated himself because, he wants to score goals. You can see that with him. So I think 4 for me. Yeah,
fair enough. I mean, sure, ratings as well, by the way. I'm giving them 5, you're giving them a 4. That is fair enough. Let's go on to the subs. We're going to start with Callum Wilson. For me, scored a goal, right? Making respectable. Didn't get too many touches in the game, but listen, at the end of the day, I'm going to give him a 6, because he came on, did what he had to do, scored a goal, and he's definitely a 6.
Yeah, we miss him. We miss him when he's not up there, because the thing with Isaac, again, I love Isaac, but when Isaac is trying to hold the ball up, and I think a few people have probably noticed this, that lots of players will get him off the ball quite easy, because he's obviously such a, he's a tall player, and he's not the strongest, player on the ball to hold it up. So when he's holding the ball up, he loses it quite often, because the players, a lot of the players in the back four for many teams are bulky, big guys. So they're going to get that ball off you, where Wilson has that, he's a powerhouse, isn't he? He's just a brick. And when he holds it up, it sticks to him. Yeah. And then people come into the game a bit more. So like I said, I'm really hoping that we try and incorporate those two as much as possible. I'm not saying every game or anything, or play 2 up front or anything like that, but I do think we look a bit more dangerous when they play together. And again, what a finish. Shows that he's a clinical guy. Yeah, he wants to start. I bet he's not happy not starting, Wilson. Again, Southgate's a weird guy. He called him up for England, which is a weird call. It's great. I like seeing Newcastle players in the England squad, but Wilson must be thinking he's a bit lucky to be in the squad, really. But there you go. What can you do?
Exactly. I mean, obviously Gav likes him, but
Yeah.
we're good. We move, I suppose. I did actually see the match. You know what, Roger? He didn't miss much, my guy. He did not miss much at all, mate. Simple as that. 60 Callum from 4 signings fee on the bench. What benefits we get from them? Is well, that's a fair shout. Really fair shout. Man of match from Callum. Twitter, what happened yesterday? Such a bunch of negative Nellies. I stopped tweets too early. Wasn't worth it. You know what it is, Roger? There's a lot of them going on in a minute. And you know what? I'll look through them. I'm not getting too involved in that, mate. I'm not. Les, I'm pleased. Baker's come at the right time. So Eddie has more time with him to get it right. I would play them both to get the goals to rotate. And Roger's chatting to Sparky as well. I would play Tobacco, Tris, Tina, Sten, Hall, Murphy, Anderson, Tiley, Gordon, Wilson, Isaac, and the bench. You can see it there. 4-4-2 for Nchenk as well. He should try 4-4-2. He did that at Bournemouth as well, didn't he? If you can go out and get anyone in Jan, who would you go for? It's definitely going to be a centre back, definitely a number 6. It's got to be. And if you're going to do that rather than the summer, so be it. And then go for the right side of midfield. And I want to get a world-class keeper within 2 years. A world-class keeper in 2 years. Probably being a lot on international duty. I keep them at Newcastle from Leslie as well. Isaac and Gordon should be sub next game. Barnes and Wilson deserve to start again. You know what? I agree with that as well. I can agree with that as well. So it's all about competition. And that's how it is. So the rest of the player ratings as well. I mean, I'm just going to give the rest of them just standard 5s for me. You know what I mean? 4s and 5s mix as well. The referee, for me, I think he's a bit fussy as well at times. I'm going to give him a 5. And the fans, definitely a 10.
Unbelievable. Just again, what I don't see many away fans who are getting beat 3-0 who are still dancing and singing like we were. Again, I saw it from the Brighton fans. Like the Brighton fans are quite cool. Like they were putting on their feeds and stuff. Like a few Newcastle fans I follow were retweeting them and stuff, and they were like, "This lot are mad. They're 3-0 down, and look at them." They were saying like, "What an away support." You know, it was a tough day yesterday. No trains really. Most people would probably travel by car or coach or whatever. So it would have been hard. You know, I went by car because I live a bit closer to Brighton, so it wasn't as bad for me. But it's phenomenal support, really. It's one of the, that probably is one of the what? Would you say it's one of the biggest journeys in football at the moment? Probably.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's up there, isn't it? Like, and then again, like. I get they've got their own reasons, but you know the trained people need to look at themselves as well, because that's a shocker. Because you know you got these people that want to go to the game. There's quite a few empty seats yesterday, and that's not because you know fans didn't want to go. It's because they're stuck. They're stuck because the trains aren't running. So
this is a problem. But the thing is, though, Paul, people still buying the ticket just to get a point and got no intentions of going. There's quite a few empty seats yesterday where I sat as well. I sat in the front the first half, then I thought, you know what, I'm going to come and do the second half just for the YouTube as well, so I can get a better shot as well. And don't forget, it's out there. Stadium Cam's out there. Do check it out, guys. Yeah, it's about 36 minutes on there as well. Also, I've just posted out a Tune Barca chant as well, so check it out for that as well. 2 separate contents, please. And stick a like and also comment as well. Yeah, you're right. I mean, look, it's the problems of the traveling time as well. He's buying a ticket, got no intention of going, right? And it just puts it's on film. People are trying to go, and it's a joke. It really is. But yeah, Antonio Silva, he's a defender from Benfica. The order face says it all. Bet they'll work in double time on getting this FFP sorted. Basically, they want to get better quality players in, which is fair enough. Still in fun times and court and the best supporters in the land, and we get silverware, and that's from Mr. Little as well. Eddie Howe, for me, I mean, again, taking off Tonali as well hasn't helped at all whatsoever, sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, I love Eddie, you know that, but he's getting a 5 today because for me, right? I mean, he's tried to change it up, didn't work, and play Miggy again, and yeah, what can I say? Back 4 on, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 10.
Yeah, and this is. I agree with you exactly that. Eddie, you know, again, can't say enough about him. Obviously, we absolutely adore this guy. Like he's done so much good for us, and again, he's gonna. Every manager has this. Every manager has bad days, bad runs. It happens. Pep has had these. He's had bad runs where Man City couldn't string a win together for a few games, and they're playing poor. Every manager is going to have a slump, no matter what. We're on such a high. We're always going to have some bad times. Sadly, this is what comes to football. You can't keep just winning. You do go through some poor times. But what I know and what we all know about Eddie is that he won't give up. He'll be in. He would have been in today at 5 a.m. as usual because he's mad. He loves the team, and he would have been already working on the plan for Brentford already. He would have had that in his mind now. He's one of those managers that says it himself that the minute the full-time whistle goes, we forget about that game, we move on to Brentford. He looks at what went wrong, of course, but the whole process will be now, how do we win at Brentford? How do we get this confidence back? Again, like I said, if we win, if you go and win that, if we have a positive result at Milan, let's say a win or a draw away, then like I said, you're doing that, and then we got Sheffield Wednesday after that. I think I'm right on the. I think I'm right there. Yeah. So let's say you get, let's say you win those two, and then you get a draw at Milan. I tell you, we'd be sitting here, John, going, we've loved those couple of weeks. Yeah, we had a poor start, but we've pulled it back. So it could, it doesn't take much for it to turn around. So you got to try and. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult to stay positive, but we've been worse. Everybody, we've been much worse. We've had people who don't care about the team playing for the team, who don't care. They're thinking about moves away. We've had managers who don't care. We've had owners who don't care. We've got all the right people who we need. So I know it's easy to get annoyed and fly off the handle and get pissed off. And, it's a bad performance. I get it. It's a bad performance. But look, I think if we do what we should be doing, we have a few results coming up, which should, hopefully go our way. Then we'll be back, we'll be back to where we need to be. We won't allow it just to keep going bad, I'm sure. Keep the faith. We're not sacking Eddie. That's mad, sacking
Definitely
Eddie.
not.
Weird.
Definitely not.
Crazy talk.
Well, if they want Eddie to do sat, right, just bugger off down the Macrams. That's all I'm saying. Fans are the best in the world. Traveling 700 go and 7 mile come back. No, it's 370 miles there and back, base. Not 701 way, 700 miles back.
How to be in Scotland.
Exactly. I continue to support the team. I'm saying they're the best in the world. Thank you, Cenk. How poor would that be? That's why. That's why Man City have lost half his fan base.
100%.
Well.
100%.
Lost half his fan base, especially in Champions League. The atmosphere is not great at the Etihad, isn't it? Let's be real. On the positive side, we're not Chelsea or Burnley. We are time bomb and we explode against Brentford. Okay, you're correct, Alan. Eddie Howe's job shouldn't even be questioned. But to not play Fiat at back, yes, they cost us a winger and a midfielder wasn't reason. All about the formation. Simple as that. Please some likes. Thank you, Leslie. It doesn't include Bruno. And totally agree. Ed is the right guy. He's on a learning curve. As well as the players, got to give him time. We want to find anyone more dedicated. And big up to Roger, by the way, from Glasgow. Even if, and a big if, we lose the next 4 games, there'll still be 90 points on offer as well. Totally agree. And I've got a feeling as well that Bruno and Joe Linton and Miggy will be missing the game against Brentford international call-ups as well. I think that's going to happen. If that's the case, that doesn't look great. The minimum for fans, the man and team that tries, and we have that. But we are still growing as a team as well. Of course we do. So of course we do. Right, going to wrap it up there, my guy. And, just doing a fantastic show today. Lively as well, by the way. And boy, did you enjoy it, mate?
Yeah, it's always, they say you feel better after talking about it, don't they, when you've had a bad experience?
100%.
But, it is what it is. We just, let's try and get over this hoodoo of the Amex Stadium and Liverpool. If we can do that, we'll be laughing. We'll be laughing. The season that we go to Liverpool and we beat them and then we beat Brighton at the Amex, we'll know we're in like for the title or something. when we do both.
Yeah. Totally agree, man. Totally agree. But it is what it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. But we just keep going, man. If you can win Anfield December the 30th, My God, that'd be brilliant. That'd be brilliant. That'd make my absolute Away fans 10 plus, absolutely Mr. Minimus. And Jan, time to watch Man United lose. So
in a Newcastle United kit.
yeah,
Literally the Newcastle United kit. It's so weird.
It is, isn't it? It is strange. It is what it is. Yeah, so that'll be it. Do check out the two contents as well, like I said earlier on, the Toon Barca chant, and also check out the Brighton versus Newcastle Stadium cam. Please stick a like, also stick a subscribe as well. That'd be amazing. Thank you so much indeed. And if you like the video, like or watch, also leave a comment section down below, like and subscribe as well. And I'll be back for the next one. It could be tomorrow or Tuesday. I've got a special guest on Tuesday. I'll let Leslie and me mods know about who it is in a bit. And yeah, so that'll be 9 o'clock. And I'm going to get others as well. I'm going to get Sabrina Belmonte as well, AC Milan journalist as well. I'm going to get her on as well too, either live or recorded. And like, subscribe as always. With the lads, and cheer up, players, because we still got another 34 games to go. Let's not be negative. Let's be positive.